Hello grade 7 students. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the measurements. Okay, so we are already on the first week of the second quarter. Time really flies so fast, ano? Ang bilis na tayo ay nasa second quarter na. Okay, so for the ancient measurements, ancient Egyptians used units of measurement based on body parts. Okay. While today, in our modern days, the metric system of measurement became the dominant system since 1900s and is now used by most of the countries with a few exceptions. The biggest exception being the United States of America. So, of course, meron silang tinatawag na English system of measurement. Mamaya, mas makikita nyo yung difference. Ano ba? Between metric system and the English system of measurement. So, during the ancient times, they used their body parts to measure things. Okay? So, tinatawag din siyang informal system of measurement because during their times, of course, wala pang measuring tools or equipments. So, gumagamit sila ng handspan. Ayan, yung distance from the thumb to the little finger, and then the cubit, okay, the distance from the elbow to the tip of the middle finger, arm span, pace. So, yung pace, yung isang buong hakbang, okay, and then foot span, or yung haba ng isang paa. In addition, we have the palm, ayan, yung lapad ng palm, and then the digit. Yung digit naman yung thickness ng index finger. So, hindi ganun kadali sa kanila before na mag-measure ng mga bagay-bagay dahil walang standard unit of measurement dahil magkakaiba ang size ng body parts natin. Okay? So, we should be thankful now because we have a lot of measuring tools and equipments today na nagagamit natin to measure different things. Okay. Now, let us define measurement. Measurement is a number that characterizes an object or event, which can be compared with other objects or events. Okay? So, through measurement, pwede nating ma-compare ang iba't ibang bagay or ang iba't ibang events. Okay? Ayan. So, we have the units of measure para ma-compare natin ang mga bagay-bagay. So, units of measure in terms of quantity. Diba? In length. Okay? We have the metric and of course, the English system of measurement. So, sa metric, ang ginagamit natin for length, we have the millimeter, the centimeter, the meter, and the kilometer. Okay? And then for the English, we have the inch, foot, yard, mile. Okay? So, syempre in terms of length, dapat sila yung kino-compare natin na measurement, diba? Okay. And in terms of volume, in metric system, we have the cubic centimeter or cubic centimeter. We also have the cubic meter. Okay? And for the English, we have the cubic inch, cubic foot, cubic yard. Okay? So, yan yung sa volume. And for the mass, for the metric, we have the gram and kilogram. Okay? For the English, we have the ounce, pound, and ton. So, yun yung ginagamit. And for the temperature, for the metric, we have the Kelvin and the degree Celsius. So, sa atin, ito yung ginagamit natin. And for the English, they have the degree Fahrenheit. Okay. And for the time, for the metric, we use second, minute, and hour. The same with the English unit of measurement. For the capacity, okay, for the metric, milliliter and liter. And for the English, fluid ounce, pint, and gallon. Okay. For angle, sa metric, we use degree and radian or rad. Ganun din sa English. Same lang sila ng unit of measurement na ginagamit. Okay. Now, let us identify the appropriate unit of measure that can be used in the following quantities. Okay, para makita natin yung meaning ng unit of measurement. Okay? So we have here the physical quantity for the first column and the unit of measure for the second column. For table, what is the appropriate unit of measurement? We can use meter or inch. For ice cream, we can use fluid ounce and sometimes milliliter or liter, diba? For the ball pen, we use centimeter or inches. For handkerchief, we can use centimeter or inches as well. Okay, and for the distance of your place to Manila, since it's quite long, diba? So we can use kilometers or miles. And for the baking cake, we use degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. Of course, yung sa yung init nung oven, kailangan natin yan. For the balikbayan box, we use cubic meter or cubic feet. Okay? Bakit cubic? Kasi volume na yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. Okay? And for the size of the shoes, we use centimeters or inches. Ayan. So, yan yung appropriate unit of measurement in different physical quantities. So, gumagamit tayo ng measurement sa maraming bagay. Okay? Now, let's discuss length. When we say length, it describes how long a physical quantity. It includes distance, height, depth, and the like. Millimeter is the smallest unit of measure for length, and kilometer is the biggest. Meter is the fundamental unit of length in the metric system. Ay, fundamental. Yan, yung meter. Okay. So, we have here the length, unit of measurement for length. Yan. So, from the longest to the smallest. So, kapag magko-convert tayo ng unit of measurement, let's say from the from longer unit of measure to a smaller one. So what we do is we multiply it by 10 raised to how many moves or steps we are going to do. So for example, from kilometer to meter, so since ilang steps yung gagawin natin, 1, 2, 3, then therefore we will multiply the given measure by 10 raised to 3. Okay? Kapag paliit, okay, from longer to smaller unit of measurement. And then, kapag naman palaki, from smaller to longer unit of measurement, dinidivide naman natin siya by 10 raised to n, or how many steps we are going to do. Okay? So, for example, we have the metric converter here for number 1, 5.4321 hectometer. Okay? So, let's convert it to decimeter. So, since sa mas malaki tayo, papunta sa maliit na unit of measurement, so, to the right yung ating movement, So, how many steps or moves we are going to do from hectometer to decimeter. So, 1, 2, 3. So, we are going to change the position of the decimal point from here, and then magmo-move tayo ng 3 times to the right. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3. So, when we convert this measurement to decimeter, so that will be 5,432.1. Another example, 0.009 kilometer, 2 meter. So, pababa ulit siya. How many moves? 1, 2, 3. So we will move the decimal point 3 times to the right. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. So the equivalent of this unit of measurement or of this measurement in kilometer is 9 meter. Another one, 12,345 centimeter to decameter. So dito naman, mula sa mas maliit, papunta sa mas malaki na unit of measurement. So, ang gagawin natin, to the left, yung ating pag-move. Okay? So, kapag whole number, yung decimal point niya ay laging nasa right side nung last digit. So, nandito siya, sa right side ng 5. So, ilang moves yung gagawin natin? 3. So, 1, 2, 3. So, therefore, 12,345 centimeters is equivalent to 12.345 decameter. Last example, 50 meters to kilometer. So, mag-move tayo ng 3. Okay? 3 steps to the left. Okay? So, the equivalent of 50 meters to kilometers is 0.050 kilometer. Okay? So, yan siya. You can answer this on your notebook. You can pause this video first and then see afterwards if you got the correct answers. For number 1, the answer is 10,000 meters. So, 10 kilometer is equivalent to 10,000 meters. For number 2, 12,345 centimeters to hectometer. The equivalent is 1.2345. And for number 3, 4.5 decameter to decimeter is 450. Hope you got the correct answers. Okay, now let's have the common English measures. So, ito yung mga different conversions for distance. For inches, we have the 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot, 3 feet is equivalent to 1 yard, 1 mile is equivalent to 1,760 yards, and 1 mile is equivalent to 5,280 feet. So, magko-convert tayo ngayon. Okay? Now, from miles into inches. Paano ba siya gawin? So, walang direct na conversion from miles into inches kung titignan natin dito. So, what we are going to do is we have to find what is the common unit of measurement that we can convert sa inches at sa miles. Okay? Ano yung common sa kanila? So, kung titignan natin dito, we have the feet. Si 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot and 1 mile is equivalent to 5,280 feet. So, yun yung gagamitin natin ngayon para makapunta tayo from miles to inches. Okay? So, 2 miles, ito yung solution, times 5,280 feet over 1 mile. So, ito yung ginamit natin. Okay? Kasi kailangan natin makapunta dito sa inches. Okay? Kasi doon natin siya kino-convert. So, paano siya naging ganyan? Kasi kailangan makancel yung mile or miles. Okay? At matira yung feet. Okay? Hanggang sa ang maiwan na lang natin ay inches. Ito yung ating gagamitin. 5,280 feet over 1 mile. So, cancel out miles. And then, from feet, pwede natin tayong dumiretso sa inches. Multiplied by 12 inches over 1 foot. Diba? Ayan siya, equivalent lang siya. And then ngayon, cancel out na din yung feet. Okay? Ang natira ay inches. So, yun yung tatandaan nyo, kailangan ang matira natin dito sa numerator ay kung saan natin siya kino-convert. Okay? Now, we can simplify 2 times 5,280 times 12. Okay? Inches. So, the answer here is 126,720 inches. So, 2 miles is equivalent to this measurement. Another, convert 60 inches into meters. Okay? So, dito meron tayong dalawang ways paano natin siya mako-convert. Okay? So, meron tayong additional dito na conversion. 1 inch is equivalent to 2.54 centimeters. 3 3.3 feet is equivalent to 1 meter. 100 centimeters is equivalent to 1 meter. Now, 60 inches times. Saan kaya tayo unang pwedeng dumaan? Ayan yung common na meron sa meters at meron din sa inches na pwede nating i-convert. We can use the foot. Okay? Ayan. So, 60 inches times 1 foot over 12 inches. So, ito lang din yan. Kailangan, again, makancel natin yung inches. Kaya nandito siya. Okay? Nilagay natin siya dyan. Cancel out inches. And then, ano namang equivalent ng foot or feet sa meters? Hanapin natin. Ito. Diba? 3.3 feet is equivalent to 1 meter. So, ayan. So, pwede na natin i-cancel yung feet and then matitira yung meter doon sa numerator. Now, we can simplify. 60 divided by 12 times 3.3 okay, meters. And then, the final answer here is 1.52 meters. So, ganyan natin i-convert yung 60 inches into meters using the feet. Pero meron pang isang paraan. Ano pa kaya ayon? Tingnan natin kung magka-come up siya sa same answer. So, 60 inches times, pwede rin tayong dumaan sa centimeters. Diba? Kasi, ayan o, si inch, may equivalent siya sa centimeter. Ganun din si meters. Meron din siyang equivalent sa inch. Now, so, cancel out inches. And then, matitira yung 2.54 centimeters over 1 multiplied by, so that will be 1 meter over 100 centimeters. Okay? So, cancel out centimeters, and then we can simplify. 60 times 2.54 all over 100 meters. And then the final answer is 1.524 meters, which is still the same with our first solution, diba? So, either way, magka-come up siya sa same answer. Now, let's proceed to temperature. So, when we say temperature, it refers to the degrees of hotness or coldness. So, the instrument used for measuring body temperature is thermometer, na madalas nyo rin makita or meron tayo sa ating mga bahay. Okay? The normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. So, sa Western people or sa Western part, yan yung ginagamit, yung degree Fahrenheit. So, the boiling point of a water is 100 degrees Celsius and the freezing point is 0 degrees Celsius. So, we have two units of measurement in terms of temperature. We have the Celsius scale and the Fahrenheit scale. So, Celsius scale is also known as the centigrade scale and used in the metric system. Temperature unit adopted and named in honor of the Swedish astronomer Anders Celsius. So, sa kanya yan pinangalan. And for Fahrenheit, it is used in the English system based on the formula invented by German scientist Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Now, let us convert the two from degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit and vice versa. Okay? So, we have formula. For degree Fahrenheit, for example, given yung degree Celsius at i-convert natin sa degree Fahrenheit, ito yung kanyang formula. Quantity 9 over 5 times degree Celsius plus 32. Kapag naman nagko-convert tayo from degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, the formula is 5 over 9 times the quantity of degree Fahrenheit minus 32. Now, let's have an example. Number 1, for degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit. So, ang ating gagamitin na formula ay ito. So, using this formula, let us substitute the given degree Celsius to the formula. So, 9 over 5 or quantity 9 over 5 times 4, diba? Kasi yun yung given, plus 32. Now, we can simplify. This will be 36 kasi 9 times 4, 36 over 5, diba? Plus 32. And the final answer is 39.2 degree Fahrenheit. So, this is the equivalent of 4 degrees Celsius in degree Fahrenheit. How about from degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius? Now we're gonna use this formula. Okay, so let us substitute 68 to the formula. So we will have 5 over 9 times the quantity of 68 minus 32. So 68 minus 32 is 36, right? And then multiply by 5 over 9, which is equivalent to 20 degrees Celsius. So the equivalent of 68 degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius is 20. Now let's proceed to mass. So when we say mass, it is the amount of material in an object. Mass is not weight. Okay? When we say weight, it is how heavy an object is and can be affected by forces such as gravity. You may weigh less on the moon where there is no gravity, but your mass is the same. And of course, we have the gram, which is the basic unit of measuring weight in the metric system. So we have here the metric converter from kilogram to milligram. Okay? So yan, lahat yan ay mass. Okay? Yung unit of measurement na yan. So we have other unit of measurement that we use in mass. We have the ounce or ounces. So 16 ounce or 16 ounces is equivalent to 1 pound. 2,000 pounds is equivalent to 1 ton. We also have the 1 kilogram is equivalent to 2.2 pounds and the 1 metric ton is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. So, hindi ko na to patatagalin dito. So, yan lang yung conversion natin. Now, let's proceed to the capacity and volume. So, when we say volume, it is the amount of space an object contains or occupies. It is often measured in terms of cubic centimeters and cubic meter. For the capacity, it is used with liquids and is often measured in terms of liter, milliliter, depending on the amount to be measured. So, ito yung metric converter natin. No, from kiloliter to milliliter. So, ito naman yung formula. Okay? Or, yeah, the formula for the volume. Okay, for the cube, rectangular prism, triangular prism, cylinder, cone, and sphere. So, when we say volume, okay, ano na siya? 3D. Kaya, naka-cube na siya. Okay, we use cubic meter, cubic centimeter. So, common metric measures in volume. Again, hindi ko na to i-discuss pa. Pinapakita ko lang. And other common English measures sa capacity. For the metric units of volume and capacity, we have the 1 milliliter, 1 liter. For the volume, 1 cubic centimeter and 1,000 cubic centimeter. Okay, now let's proceed to the speed and rate. So, speed is the rate of distance traveled per unit time. So, mathematically speaking, kung kph or kilometer over hour or km over h means kilometer per hour. Okay? So, yan yung basa natin dyan sa kph or km over h. And then yung m over s, it means meter per second. So, average speed, this is the distance traveled by the car average on an average. So, the formula for this is total distance traveled over total time taken. Let's have a problem or a given problem. A horse runs 120 kilometers in 3 hours. So, we're gonna use this formula, okay? Para makuha natin yung mga questions. For number 1, find its average speed. Next, at this rate, how far does it run in 2 hours? And how far can it run in 20 minutes? So, ayan. For letter A, since average speed yung hinahanap, so we're gonna use this formula. Total distance traveled. For this given problem, 120 kilometers. And total taken time, 3 hours. So, yan lang siya. 120 kilometers divided by 3 hours is equivalent to 40 kilometers per hour. And for letter B, at this rate, how far does it run in 2 hours? So what we are going to do is we will just multiply the 40 kilometers per hour to 2 hours. Okay? Kasi, yun yung mina-measure niya ngayon. So, 2 hours. So, the final answer is 80 kilometers. And for letter C, how far can it run in 20 minutes? Okay? Tingnan natin. So, kung per hour, merong 40 kilometers, how about in 20 minutes? Kung 20 minutes, imumultiply natin siya sa 1 hour over 60 minutes. Okay? Again, kailangan kasi makancel natin tong minutes na ito. So, 20, this will be 20 divided by 60. Diba? Kasi 20 times 1. So, 20 divided by 60 is 2 over 6 or 1/3. 1/3 hours. Pero hindi pa yan yung final answer natin. Okay? Kasi ang tanong, how far? Diba? How far can it run in 20 minutes? Ito ay hour. Hour pa lang to. So, we have to multiply the 1/3 hour by 40 kilometer over 1 hour. Kasi ito yung 40 kilometer per hour natin, diba? So, when we multiply this, we will have 40 over 3 or 13 and 1/3 kilometers per 20 minutes or in 20 minutes. So, yan yung tatakbuhin ng horse. Okay, now let's proceed to the measures of angles. So, when we say angle, it is the result of the union of two rays with a common endpoint. It is measured by means of an instrument, the protractor, which gives a measure in terms of degrees. The measure of angle depends on the opening of the sides of the angle. The greater the opening, the greater the measure, or vice versa. So, parts of the angle, when we say rays, sides of an angle, and the vertex or the vertices, plural form of vertex, it is the common endpoint of the two.
Hi everyone! In this video, I'm gonna show you how to measure and draw angles using a protractor. So, what you have there in your house is the smaller size of this. Yung transparent, yung itsura. Okay? I'm just gonna use a bigger one for you to easily see what I'm gonna draw here on my wall. But before that, bakit ba natin kailangan pag-aralan yung pag-measure ng angles? Okay? The reason is because we actually use angles in our everyday lives. Hindi lang natin siya napapansin. Okay? Kapag umikot ka ng isang buong ikot, okay, ang tawag doon 360 degrees. Kapag umikot ka naman ng kalahating ikot, halimbawa from north, dun ka nakaharap, and then iikot ka at haharap ka sa south, then that is a 180 degrees turn. Okay? So, mahalaga na alam natin yung bakit ba natin ito pinag-aaralan. Actually, ginagamit yung angles ng mga engineers, ng mga architects, sa paggawa ng mga roads, ng mga buildings, okay? Also, the carpenters, they use it to make chairs, tables, and kung ano man yung mga kanilang ginagawa. Okay? So, mahalaga na atin itong mapag-aralan. Let's proceed to naming angles. So, we have 3 different ways to name angles. The first one is we can name an angle using 3 capital letters. For example, angle ABC, angle DEF, angle GHI. Okay? So, it's up to you. So, for now, I'm gonna use angle LUV. Okay? Or angle love.
Yan, doon kayo magaling, diba?
So, pwede nating lagyan ng points sa bawat ray. Ayan. Pwede rin namang wala. So, I can read this angle as angle LUV. Another one is we can name an angle using the vertex. Kung ano yung letter na nasa vertex nyo, yun yung pangalan ng angle na yun. So, for this example, this is the angle U. And last one, we can name an angle by placing a number or a symbol in the interior angle. Okay? Dito sa interior part ng angle na ito. So, madalas ang ginagamit talaga dito ay numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So, I'm gonna place 1 here. Okay? So, I can name this or read this angle as angle 1. In addition to what I have told you, a protractor measures 180 degrees because this is a semicircle or a half circle. Now, let's proceed to defining angles. An angle is a figure formed by two rays which are also called the sides of an angle. Ito yung rays. Okay? And they have a common endpoint which is the vertex. Now, how are we going to measure these angle using a protractor? So what we are going to do is yung vertex natin, ayan, ipapantay natin or i-align natin siya doon sa midpoint ng ating protractor. So sa protractor nyo, yun ay transparent, so madaling makita. And yung line natin dito, dapat nasa 0 degree. Yan, nakapantay din siya dyan. And then of course, the other side of the angle, doon natin malalaman kung anong measurement ba ng angle na yun. So for this example, we have 90. Okay? So this angle is a right angle. Kaya meron tayong ganitong parang box dito sa corner na ito. So this is a 90 degree angle or a right angle. Ganito gumamit ng protractor para makapag-measure tayo ng mga angles. Now, let us find the measurement of angle X, Y, Z. Okay. Kapag binasa natin ito, kapag nakakita kayo ng ganyan, yung ibig sabihin ng M ay measurement. So, the measurement of angle X, Y, Z. Kailangan nating hanapin dahil nawawala.
Sana all hinahanap. Yan, diyan kayo magaling.
Diyan kayo magaling.
Let's proceed. So, again, itapat natin yung ating vertex doon sa midpoint ng ating protractor. And then, of course, the initial side, okay, kailangan nakatapat din siya doon sa line ng protractor natin. Okay. Yan. So, since ang inyong protractor ay transparent, madali nyo siyang makikita. Ngayon, yung terminal side or the other side of the angle, okay, doon natin again malalaman ano ba yung measurement nito. So, since dito tayo nag-start, so dito tayo titingin kung ano ba yung measurement. So, for this example, this is 110 degrees. So, the angle XYZ measures 110 degrees. Paano naman kapag yung teacher nyo sinabi na mag-draw kayo ng 45 degree angle? Okay? So, ganito yung una natin gagawin. Of course, magsisimula tayo sa vertex. Okay? Ngayon, magdodraw tayo ng initial side ng ating angle. Actually, pwede natin siyang pa-horizontal, pwede rin pa-slant, okay? Kayo ang bahala as long as tama yung pagme-measure nyo. Sige. This time, gagamit ako ng ganito. Ayan. Ito yung initial side natin. Kapag nakapag-draw na tayo ng vertex at nung initial side ng angle natin, ngayon, itapat na natin yung vertex doon sa midpoint ng protractor. Okay. Ayan. And of course, dapat yung initial side ay nakapantay din dun sa line ng protractor. Now, 45 degrees. So, dito tayo titingin from 0 to 45. So, ito yung 45 sa gitna ng 40 and 50. Pwedeng lagyan niya siya ng maliit lang na line muna or pwede rin namang point. And then, pwede na natin siyang i-connect. Now, we have a 45 degree angle. Pangalanan ko siya. M, N, O. Okay. So, angle M and O measures 45 degrees.
So, using a protractor, find the measure of each angle below. Use the figure below as your guide. So, gagamit tayo ng protractor para ma-measure ito, ano? So, the measurement of angle BAC. So, where is the angle BAC? Ito siya, BAC. So, ito yung angle na mina-measure natin. So, using a protractor, malalaman natin ang kaniyang measurement. And that is 50 degrees. Okay? How about the measurement of angle DAE? So, this is the angle DAE. Okay? So, ito yung angle na mina-measure natin. And using a protractor, we can find the measurement of this angle. And that is 30 degrees. How about the angle FAD? So, FAD. So, ito yung angle na ating mina-measure, ano? Ayan. So, that is 90 degree angle. And for the angle EAC, ito naman siya, EAC. So, ito yung angle na mina-measure natin from the green line or green ray to the yellow. Okay? Ayan. So, that is a 100 degree angle. And lastly, for the angle CAF, so ito siya, no, from the yellow ray to the orange, okay, ito yung mina-measure natin, that is 160 degrees. So, I hope alam nyo na ngayon paano gumamit ng protractor dahil magagamit nyo yan kahit sa mga susunod na grade level. Okay, lastly, we have the measure of time. So, primitive men used to tell the time by the position of the sun, the stars and the moon, and the behavior of animals. They used sundial, water clock, hourglass, and other improvised instruments until mechanical clock, digital clock, and other kind of clock has been invented. So, thankfully, tayo ay nabubuhay na sa modern days. So, meron na tayong mga iba't ibang klase ng clock para malaman natin yung time. Okay? So, time is measured by the rotation of Earth on its axis, making one full day, and its complete revolution around the sun, making 1 year in 365 and 1/4 days. Okay? Dahil ito sa leap year. Okay? So, ito yung conversion, okay, or equivalent measure of time. 60 seconds is equivalent to 1 minute, 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour, so on and so forth. Ayan siya. Okay? So, wag natin to kakalimutan dahil mahalagang-mahalaga yan. Okay? Now, let's have the problem about time or measuring time. How many hours are there in 1 week? Okay? So, there are 7 days in a week and 24 hours a day. So, how are we going to find the answer in this question? So, we just have to multiply 7 by 24, which is equal to 168 hours. Okay? So, we have 168 hours in a week. Okay? Another, convert 216,000 minutes to days. Okay? So, ilang araw kaya meron sa 216,000 minutes? So, gagamit ulit tayo nung solution katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. So, 216,000 minutes times 1 hour over 60 minutes. Okay? Kasi papunta tayo sa days. Okay? Palaki yung ating unit of measurement. So, cancel out the minutes and then multiply 1 day over 24 hours, diba? O, papunta na tayo. Kasi meron tayong direct na conversion from hours to day. Diba? So, 24 hours is equivalent to 1 day. So, cancel out hours. Then, we have 216,000 divided by 60 times 24. Ayan. Then, the final answer is 150 days. So, or there are 260,000 minutes in 150 days. Okay. So, that's all for this video. I hope you have learned a lot. Thanks for listening.